This episode is brought to you by Indeed. When your computer breaks, you don't wait for it to magically start working again. You fix the problem. So why wait to hire the people your company desperately needs? Use Indeed's sponsored jobs to hire top talent fast. And even better, you only pay for results. There's no need to wait. Speed up your hiring with a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
With a major selection of the looks your kiddos love starting at just $4 in the Walmart app, a new school year means a stylish new them. Who knew? Find skater skirts and Crocs that say, I'm casual but cool. Sparkly sneakers that say, it's my classroom, you're just learning in it. And preppy polos that say, I'm the teacher's pet, even if they're mommy's menace at home. Find their favorite styles starting at just $4 in the app. The Walmart you thought you knew is now new.
The board game Clue has a fascinating history dating back to the 1940s when it was called Cluedo overseas and was later brought to the United States by Parker Brothers. Today, Hasbro owns Clue. They actually acquired it in the 1980s, and over the years, the game has inspired many fun and creative spin-offs. These include a short-lived TV show, various themed versions like the All Simpsons edition, and a memorable VCR version from the videocassette era. Alongside classics like Monopoly, Cranium, The Game of Life, Sorry, and Mousetrap, as well as beloved junior games such as Candyland and Chutes and Ladders, Clue has truly stood the test of time through many generations. It was only a matter of time before someone thought of turning Clue into a movie. Was it a big hit? Not really. Was it a lot of fun? Absolutely. So grab your favorite weapon, meet us at the Hill House, and watch your back when the lights go out as Gerry D, Chris McMichen, Laramy Wells, and I discuss Clue from 1985 on this episode of the 80s Flick Flashback podcast. Welcome in, everybody. So glad to have you on this episode. I am your host, Tim Williams. Tonight, you are all my honored guests for a very unusual dinner party. To solve the mystery of this beloved movie, I've invited 3 expert co-hosts, though I assure you, none of them are being blackmailed. First, to unlock the secrets of the study is a man whose film analysis is sharper than the dagger in the library, and unlike Mr. Body, his arguments are always alive and well. Please welcome to the mansion from Totally Rad Christmas Podcast, Mr. Gerry D. How you doing, Gerry?
You seem to be suffering from what we call, I'm just kidding, I pressure of speech. I was going to do it. I was like, no, my Christopher Lloyd's terrible. How's it going?
Good, good. Glad to have you on this episode. Our next guest, well, to make a long story short, I've invited him to the party. He's not being blackmailed. He's here because his love for 80s movies is no secret at all. Please welcome back to the show, Chris McMichen. How you doing, Chris?
Doing good, and I didn't do it.
And finally, to bring it all home, a man who knows every secret passage. He's here to help us figure out which of the film's endings is the best. And his insights always hit their target, no warning shot required. From Moving Panels Podcast, it's the one and only Laramy Wells. How you doing, Laramy?
I didn't do it.
I think we all said that, right? So glad to have you guys on this episode. We're kicking off our new season, just came off of our Summer of Sequels series, and excited to talk about Clue, which when I sent out a list of all the movies that I had not covered yet, this was by far the one that filled up the quickest. So everybody wanted to, not everybody, but it had a lot of people want to be a part of this one. And glad to have you 3 here on this episode for an ensemble comedy. Why not have an ensemble co-host as well? Or ensemble of co-hosts. That's the proper way to say it. But before we talk about the movie, I want to talk about Clue, the board game. So I want to know, what are your memories of the board game? Did you know about the game before you saw the movie, or did you see the movie and then realize there was a board game? So we'll start with you, Gerry.
Yeah, so sometime in the mid-'80s, my mom bought a complete Clue board game at a garage sale. and my
Okay.
brothers and I were super into it. We played it all the time. We created our own characters, weapons, and rooms, and we even wrote to Milton Bradley, and they
Wow.
wrote back. We still have the note. It's at my parents' house, but they explained, of course, they're not going to take suggestions from kids, but they explained that we didn't work for them, so they technically couldn't use our ideas, but they loved our enthusiasm. So we loved this game.
Did knowing the game make you want to see the movie even more? Was that what got you excited about the movie?
Yes. So we loved the game so
Okay.
much, and then we always wanted there to be a movie. And then in 1990, I remember being in class, and my friend Craig Land was making a joke about something, and he said I didn't do it like you guys were saying, and he was like, "Yeah, like from Clue the movie." I was like, "What? What are you talking about? Like, I have to see this now." So that weekend we rented it. We went to Movie Land Video. I made my parents rent it, and it's
Mhm.
been one of my favorites ever since.
Oh, very cool. All right, Chris, what about you?
Yeah, so played the game a good bit. My family was big time into family game nights of all sorts, and we played lots of things. The Game of Life. We played a bunch of those old board games, and
Mhm.
Clue was definitely at the top of the list for us. And it was one of those games where, regardless of your age, adults, kids, everybody could get into it. Everybody could play. The
Mhm.
mystery behind it really made it accessible to everybody, and we really enjoyed it. And so I definitely knew about the game prior to the movie for sure.
Okay. Cool. What about you, Laramie?
The same. This was one of my favorite board games when I was a
Okay.
kid.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, played it a lot. We still play it. It's one of my daughter's now favorite board games. And we've got a couple of different versions. You mentioned like the Simpsons version.
Yeah.
We've got a Doctor Who version
Okay.
and a
Nice.
Harry Potter version.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
As well as the classic. We got the
Yeah.
classic as
Oh,
well.
yeah.
But yeah, no, and then it was the same thing. Like I found out there was a movie, and again, one of my favorite board games. So I was so interested.
Mhm.
I don't have the memory Jerry does to know exact date and time and place that I was when I discovered the movie existed.
Right.
But no, when I discovered the movie existed, I was very happy to watch it, and that was before I knew like who Madeline Kahn and Martin
Mhm.
Mull and
Mhm.
who really any of them were.
Yeah.
So
Oh, yeah.
didn't realize I was also watching comedic geniuses at work.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
yeah, no, love the board game. Still love the board game. One of my favorites.
Yeah. Yeah, we had the board game as well. I don't remember playing it as much. I remember like playing with the pieces as a kid. Like I don't remember playing it as a game, and maybe I was too young to understand like how to play, but it was something my sister was a big mystery person. Like she loved Scooby-Doo, and my older sister, she loved watching Scooby-Doo and reading she was a big Hardy Boys and
Yeah.
Nancy Drew. She read all those books, so she was very big into like the mystery stuff. And
Mhm.
so I
It
don't
was
ever remember.
Encyclopedia Brown for me.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Hardy Boys and
Encyclopedia Brown.
Encyclopedia Brown are mine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like I don't have any memory of actually playing the game, but I remember the box. I remember opening the box and all the little pieces and like reading the instructions and trying to figure out like how to play the game or whatever. And so leading in, like Jerry, I'll lead into how I saw it. So I didn't see this in the theaters. I saw this on HBO, but honestly, it was not one that I watched a lot. And I remember seeing it, but it's not one that I remember like watching a whole lot, but I do remember the multiple endings at the end.
Mm-hmm.
So, but my sister went to see it at the theater because she was such a big fan of the game. And I remember like after she saw it, she wanted to go back and see it again and trying to convince my dad that there were other endings, and he didn't believe her. He just thought she wanted to, he's like, I'm not giving you money to go see a movie you've seen already. And I remember her taking the newspaper and showing like it shows ending A, B, or C. And I want to go like, I think I saw the B one. I want to see the C. So, but I don't remember if he actually let her go back and see it or not, but I do remember watching it on HBO.
Now, did you
Like a year or
have to
so
go
later.
to a different theater for a different
Yes.
ending, or could you
Yes.
repeat the same
I
theater?
think
Okay.
so. Yeah, I don't
Yes,
think they
it
had the
was-
same one at the same theater. Like, I don't think they had
Right.
different endings at the same theater. Yeah.
Yes, correct.
Yeah. I think each theater was just sent whatever ending
Random.
they
ending.
decided to
Mhm.
get. Yeah. But Chris, what about you? When did you see it for the first time?
First of all, can you imagine if you saw it once and then you went to a different theater to see a different ending and they had the same one and you sat through the entire movie
So mad.
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
find out how to
Well,
see
and
It's
that?
like buying a blind bag toy. Like
It's a-
you,
I know.
you're trying to
It's
get
so
that
risky,
different one.
so
You just keep getting
risky.
the same one.
Yeah.
But I
yeah.
think they printed like which theaters had which endings. I think there was a way to find out, if I recall.
Yeah, like I said, I know our
Okay.
local newspaper told you like which ending, but like I said,
Yeah.
if you went and saw it the first weekend and you didn't know which ending you saw, how would you know which one you were going to see?
Well,
So,
yeah. Does it say like ending B here?
yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
But definitely saw it in the theater. Yes, it was a lot of fun, and I just remember the idea that this is the game that's come to life. I mean, it really.
Mhm.
These are the characters I've been playing. These are the same weapons we've been dealing with. Although
Right,
it wasn't quite the same little toothpick knife that I tried to poke my sister with all the time.
Of
You know,
course,
it was
totally.
like a real knife and such. But
Right.
it played well, and I just thought it was a blast. So. I did only see it once though, so I only saw one ending until later on when it came out on video, and of course then they showed them back to back to back. This was
Right.
this was a blockbuster deal for me to see them go back and see all the other endings. It was a cool idea, great market.
Which
Yeah.
one did you get though?
I got the one with Miss Scarlet. I don't know what
Okay.
which
Ending
A,
A.
B,
yeah.
or C. I'm not sure which
Yeah.
ones those
No,
are,
that's
but
ending A. Yeah.
If you go,
That's
if you
the
go
one
in
I
the
saw
order
in my
that they're
theater.
released, it'd be A. Yeah.
Yeah. Now that brings up a question because like I didn't see this in the research, but did like the opening weekend everybody saw A and then they released the other endings like weeks later? I wish I would have.
I don't think so. No, I think they.
Okay.
No, I think
yeah,
it was all. Yeah.
It was
was
all
all
random.
okay, all at the
Mhm.
same time. Okay. Yeah. That might have been smarter. Like everybody sees A and then like re-release it a month later with now see, which other ending you'd like to see. But anyway, go ahead, Laramie. I'm taking up your time.
No. I just think that the multiple ending thing, as much as it's talked about, I know I saw like Siskel and Ebert's review, and that's one of the reasons they bashed it. Like that is though the game.
But that's the catch,
Like,
right?
Yeah,
that's the-
exactly. Mm-hmm.
and the fact that the explanations like do make sense. I do think the Miss Peacock one's a little weak.
Yeah.
It's
yeah,
the
But-
shakiest for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that the endings actually do make sense. But that, yeah. And putting them all together even still works. Is, it could have happened this way or it could have happened this way.
Yeah.
'Cause that was the game.
Mhm,
You didn't,
yeah.
It was always different every time you played.
The one that I'm
Right.
super curious about is ending D. That's the one that
Yes.
I wish there
Yeah.
were footage.
That is missing. Yeah. I saw
Yeah.
that.
The
You can
the
find
fourth
pictures,
ending.
but apparently
Yeah.
it makes the most sense.
But it was also the darkest of the, so they were afraid it was
Right,
going to be a little
right.
too
Too
dark
much of a
for 'em.
downer.
All right, so how long has it been since you watched it before watching it for tonight's podcast? Laramie, I'll start with you and go the other way.
It's been a minute. I can't put my finger exactly on how long ago it's been. And again, that just comes with the fact that I've got, small children, and
Mm-hmm.
it's even though it's not a really bad movie for small children,
right.
it's one of those you want them to be able to watch it when they would understand what's going on,
Mm-hmm.
at least. So yeah, I think it's probably been a good decade. Probably. I hate to say, because I do really enjoy this movie.
What about you, Chris? How long has it been since you rewatched it?
Yeah, it's before I saw it this week. It's been a long time. This is not one of the, I've been on your podcast several times, and a lot of the movies we talk about come back on TBS or TNT,
Right. Yeah.
that kind of thing. This movie though is not that.
Mm-mm.
I'm sure I saw it on television as a rerun, but it was around a Halloween themed, weekend kind of marathon of movies and
Mm-hmm.
mystery and horror and those kind of things. So, but it's easily probably for me been about 15 years since I've seen it.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Jerry? Every other weekend?
Not every other weekend, but I did see it in June. June was the last time I'd seen it prior to for this. Yeah.
Gotcha.
I watch it like 2-3 times a year.
Yeah. Jerry's Jerry's the guy. He's going to watch them all over and over and over again. So, but yeah, it's been go ahead.
No, I was just going to say there are some that I do watch over and over again, but there are some that I space out like once a year. You got to give them a little space.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, I haven't seen this one in a long time. Like I said, I bought the digital version maybe a year ago, knowing that I was going to cover it on the podcast, but I had not I hadn't seen it probably since it was probably on TV it was on like you guys 15, 20 years ago when they were still playing it on TV. And so yeah, so I think I watched it like a year and a half ago, I think, because I'd bought it. I was like, I want to go and rewatch it. And it was like, but I kind of watched it, but I just kind of had it on. I really wasn't watching it. So it was fun to really sit down and watch it again this week and kind of take it all in again. So it was a lot of fun. All right, let's talk about a story origin and pre-production. Not a lot to cover, which is good. We've got a pretty lengthy cast to talk about. But as I mentioned in the opening, this was the first movie based on a board game. The board game was originally called Cluedo, published by Waddingtons in the United Kingdom in 1949, followed soon after by the American version. It quickly became one of the world's most popular board games, eventually selling more than 100 million units and earning in excess of $1 billion. Billion dollars. Sorry. Every time those numbers. Producer Deborah Hill, yes, the Deborah Hill that co-wrote Halloween, initially acquired the rights to adapt the game from Parker Brothers and intended to distribute through Universal Pictures as early as 1981. But then executive producer and director John Landis conceived the storyline for Clue, and he approached the famed playwright and screenwriter Tom Stoppard to pen the script. Stoppard worked on the project for a year before quitting and returning all of the money he'd been paid for his services. He's like, I just can't do it. When Stoppard departed the project, Landis sought legendary composer Stephen Sondheim and famous actor Anthony Perkins to write the screenplay, just as they did together for The Last of Sheila in 1973, but both were too expensive, and in the end, director Jonathan Lynn wrote the screenplay himself. So Jonathan Lynn, I recognized that name. This was one of the first movies that he directed, but other ones that you would know him from are My Cousin Vinny, The Whole 10 Yards, I think is the other one.
Whole 9 Yards.
Whole 9 Yards, right? The first one, yeah. So, but I'm a huge fan of My Cousin Vinny.
Yeah.
So he's done some really good comedies. So, but that's it for production. They went through a couple of writing changes. I did read something I didn't put on my notes. I think Jonathan Lynn had them watch like a lot of 30s screwball comedies for preparation and how he wanted the dialogue to be done. And you can definitely see that in the movie. Like it feels like that kind of that throwback slapstick, screwball comedies. Maybe not slapstick, but a lot of physical comedy, a lot of rapid fire dialogue that was very popular, which I think works for the movie because it's kind of the time period that it's set in. And I was going to say something about, I think another reason why it probably doesn't get replayed as much, and also probably why for your girls, Laramie, why it might be harder for them to watch now is because it talks so much about themes of like the government themes of that era that you kind of almost need a history lesson to kind of understand some of the reasons why as a kid. That's probably why it wasn't one that I watched over and over again. I love the ending once it gets more zany, but that first like half hour or so where it's all the exposition of like who they are and their connections and stuff, I didn't really understand that as a kid. So I could see how that would be harder for younger audiences today to maybe be able to piece those things together. I don't know, what do you guys think?
No, for sure.
Agree.
I mean,
yeah,
there's definitely, there's like some Cold War stuff in there. There's, they talk about communism. There's the McCarthy stuff and, all the witch hunts. I mean, yeah, there's definitely stuff I didn't get as a kid, but the delivery still made it funny.
Yeah. Just has some good jokes for sure.
But I like when you break it down that you find out that Professor Plum works for you-know-who.
That's right.
Yeah. Because he works for he says that. And then he goes, it's a particular branch for the World Health Organization, which is WHO. So he works for you-know-who.
You-know-who, yeah. There are a lot of good little things there.
One of the things I did look up because I was just curious is what house they were using. And it turns out that they built all of that set in the studio. And except for the ballroom, except for the ballroom.
There you go.
Yeah.
ballroom was authentic to the house where they filmed. The outside shots were of a real estate, which I also learned is burned down now. But
Yeah, yeah. And I think they used it for Dynasty, like it was the same exterior shots for some of the Dynasty shows, whatever.
Nice.
All right, well, let's talk about the cast, and the main cast is in alphabetical order as it is in the opening credits. So we'll start with Eileen Brennan as Mrs. Peacock. She made her film debut in the satire Divorce American Style in 1967, followed by a supporting role in Peter Bogdanovich's The Last Picture Show in 1971, which earned her a BAFTA Award nomination for Best Supporting Actress. She gained further critical acclaim for her role as Captain Doreen Lewis in Private Benjamin in 1980, earning an Oscar nomination for Best Supporting Actress. Of course, she reprised the role in the television series adaptation, winning both a Golden Globe and a Primetime Emmy Award. She worked prolifically in television, receiving Emmy nominations for her guest roles on Newhart, 30-something, Taxi, and Will and Grace. So yeah, I knew her from the Private Benjamin TV show. Like, I remember watching that show as a kid, knowing that it was based on a movie, but never seeing the movie. And then I think years later, I saw the movie and had no idea it was this, that they had used the same person in the movie and the TV show, which I thought was kind of odd at that time. But
it's pretty rare, yeah.
But she's fun in this. So, anybody else have thoughts of Eileen Brennan?
No, I mean, I this is where I learned of her. So I had seen her in Private Benjamin, but I didn't really put two and two together until much later. This is like when someone says Eileen Brennan, I think Clue.
Right. Yeah, if that's the first thing you saw her in, I'm sure that's probably why it would be.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. This was her first movie after her release from the Betty Ford Center for Painkiller Addiction caused by her recovery from a 1982 car accident. Her greatest physical challenge during shooting was running around the mansion for the reenactment sequence, which is pretty crazy, all the running around they're doing. So, next in line is Mr. Tim Curry as Wadsworth the butler. Of course, he received acclaim for his on-screen roles, including Rooster Hannigan and Annie in 82, Darkness and Legend in 85, Pennywise in the miniseries It in 1990, The Concierge in Home Alone 2, Lost in New York, Long John Silver in Muppet Treasure Island, 96. His other notable film appearances include The Worst Witch in 86, The Hunt for Red October in 1990, Three Musketeers in 1993, Charlie's Angels in 2000, Scary Movie 2 in 2001. And of course, he's also a prolific Emmy voice actor for roles in animation, including Captain Hook in Peter Pan and the Pirates from 1990 to 91, Hexus in the film Fern Gully, The Last Rainforest, 92. He was also Sir Nigel Thornberry in The Wild Thornberrys from 98 to 2004. Voiced Chancellor Palpatine, Darth Sidious in Star Wars The Clone Wars from 2012 to 2014.
He was also in an episode of Psych, the American Duos episode. Which
Nigel St. Nigel. That is his name.
It's perfect.
I'm a huge Psych fan.
So. I am too.
Yes,
I love it.
yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, where he plays the Simon Cowell type character.
Yeah. I remember that now. Yeah, Tim Curry. I mean, talk about a prolific actor. I mean, and it's funny because I think there's this meme about like, if you mention the name Tim Curry, whatever like role that they remember him from tells you a lot about that person.
Yeah.
Is he Dr. Frankfurter from the Rocky Horror Picture Show? Is he from Clue? He's from Home Alone 2. So yeah, but he's great. And I had kind of forgotten that he suffered a stroke several years ago.
Yeah.
So, and has kind of. He did do an interview about the movie I was reading, because I guess there was an article that was printed what he was not able to be a part of because he had recently had the stroke. But then a couple of years later, they re-released the article with him being able to talk about the role, because he said publicly this was his favorite role of the films that he'd been in. So he enjoyed this one the most.
Well,
understand why.
Yeah. I mean, like, the last half of the movie is all him, right? And it's just this super punchy, snappy dialogue. He's like his energy levels just had to be massive. So yeah, for sure. I know he was supposed to be in the Whodunit Clue documentary that Jeff C. Smith did, but he came down with COVID the day they were supposed to interview Tim Curry, and he didn't want to be known as the guy that gave Tim Curry, COVID. So he canceled, and apparently they didn't get the message on time, and it was a big deal. But It would have been really cool to hear his thoughts on it
Mm-hmm.
in that documentary.
Mm-hmm. All right. Any other thoughts on Curry before we move on?
Just that he's awesome.
I mean, I'll just throw in he was almost the voice of the Joker on Batman the Animated Series.
That's right. That's right.
But his voice was deemed too scary.
I mean, he is a little bit like in Home Alone 2 when after he runs the credit card and it's discovered that it's stolen and his grin like just grows slowly like the Grinch. You know, there's something that is kind of scary. But and then of course in Darkness and it's just like, wow.
Oh yeah, yeah. He can be fun, but if he needs to be dark and mysterious, he can definitely pull that off for sure. So
I did like him in The Shadow.
Was in The Shadow? I have to go back and watch that one. That's the one with Alec Baldwin.
With Alec Baldwin.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Too many to mention. But he was not the first choice for Wadsworth. The first choice was Leonard Rossiter, but he died before filming commenced. I think he was known as like a fast talking butler in like some other movie or TV show. The second choice was Mr. Bean himself, Rowan Atkinson, but it was decided he was not sufficiently well known at the time. So
man, I want to see that version though.
That would have been a whole different movie. Yeah.
Yeah, that
for
was
sure.
really different.
Yeah. Yeah. But that would have leaned into like that, kind of the British, humor a little bit. It would have brought that in a little bit more, I think, because that's what he was known for at that time was the British comedies before Mr. Bean. Yeah.
And let's get Leslie Nielsen as Colonel Mustard, and we got ourselves a movie.
All right, next on the list, we got Madeline Kahn as Mrs. White. She was known for comedic roles in films directed by Peter Bogdanovich. There's the name again, I don't want to say. And Mel Brooks, including What's Up, Doc in 72, Young Frankenstein in 74, High Anxiety in 77, Laramy's favorite, History of the World Part 1, 1981, and her Academy Award nominated roles in Paper Moon in 73 and Blazing Saddles in 74.
Blazing Saddles.
Yeah. But this is what I knew Madeline Kahn from for sure. That, and I had seen Young Frankenstein. I'd seen History of the World Part 2.
Yeah.
I mean Part 1 as a kid on TV versions of it. But of course, her famous "Flames on the Side of My Face" monologue was completely ad-libbed, which I thought was fantastic.
Which part of me wonders if that's the reason, because it's such iconic, but when you watch it in the movie, it's just abruptly stopped.
Yeah.
And so, how much longer did she go is what I want to know.
Yeah, what I read was, like, the director let her do, like, several different takes of, like, random things, but that one was the one that caused the cast to crack up. Like, they completely lost it. And so I think that's why it's cut so short, because trying to get them back, like, you had to get those shots of them, but trying to get them to a straight face, it was hard to do. So,
yeah.
And I think she went a lot longer, and so he just had to keep it short, but yeah. But yeah, she's great. I just, and she's great in this too. I love it.
I really liked her in this part. She's a very, very gifted vocalist too. And if you hear in the Jolly Good Fellows section, she starts just ad-libbing these extra parts in between the lines. And then at the end, she's doing these super high harmonies and they all sound really good. And I'm like, man, this is a perfect moment for her to shine a little bit.
What I wonder in that scene too, when they're singing Jolly Good Fellow, is did the rest of the cast know? Because Michael McKean turns and looks at her.
Yeah, he does.
Like, and of course, he's a musician.
Yes, yeah.
So, like, I'm wondering, he was like, well, dang. You're like,
you have to guess that was ad-libbed. I just guessing, but
yeah, could be. I didn't see that in the notes, but it's very possible. So I'll mention Christopher Lloyd as Professor Plum. We've covered him extensively in our Back to the Future episode, so I'm not going to go over his filmography. But if you don't know who Christopher Lloyd is and you're an 80s fan, what are you doing with your life? And this was released the same year as Back to the Future, so I think that's interesting to see what a variety of characters he played in 1985.
Is it a variety? Is he not playing just a variation of Doc Brown?
He's a little more straight-laced in this one, I think. He's not quite as 1.21 gigawatts, so.
Yeah.
But then, as we mentioned, Michael McKean as Mr. Green, McKean started his career as Lenny in the ABC sitcom Laverne and Shirley from 76 to 83. That's where I knew him from. He was briefly a cast member on Saturday Night Live for its 19th and 20th season from 94 to 95. He acted in films such as Used Cars in 1980, The Big Picture in 89, the latter of which he co-wrote. He's also known for having collaborated with Christopher Guest, acting in his films such as This is Spinal Tap in 84, Best in Show 2000, A Mighty Wind 2003, and For Your Consideration in 2006. He co-wrote the song A Mighty Wind for the film A Mighty Wind, and he won a Grammy Award as well as A Kiss at the End of the Rainbow from the same film, which was nominated for an Academy Award.
Which he wrote along with his wife, Annette O'Toole.
Yes, that's right.
Yep.
Annette O'Toole. So yeah, so he's a prolific actor.
So
And even
Jazz
though
for the
he-
Spinal Tap sequel. Sorry.
And yeah, this is Spinal Tap. Come on. And then he, even though he only appeared in one episode, he is officially the Perry White of the Smallville universe.
Okay. Got to bring in that Superman reference. Good job, Laramie.
Yeah. Well, of course. And then his wife played Martha.
Yeah,
Martha, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Why did you say that name?
Different Superman.
Oh, yeah.
Right. And then we've got Martin Mull as Colonel Mustard. We covered him in Mr. Mom, which this was another great role for him. And then we've got Leslie Ann Warren as Miss Scarlet. In the 70s, she worked mostly on television, receiving a Golden Globe nomination for playing Dana Lambert in the CBS drama series Mission Impossible from 1970 to 71. She also was nominated for an Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress for playing Norma Cassidy in Victor Victoria in 1983. She received 2 additional Golden Globe nominations for her performances in Songwriter in 84 and Family of Spies in 1990. Her other film appearances include Burglar in 1987, Cop in 1988, Life Stinks. Life Stinks in 1991, Pure Country in 92,
Pure Country.
Color of Night. There's your Bruce Willis reference, Laramie, in 1994.
That's a heck of a Bruce Willis movie.
Yeah,
we don't.
Not one we really want to talk about. And Secretary in 2002. But yeah, according to an interview with writer and director Jonathan Lynn after a screening of the 25th anniversary of the movie's release, Carrie Fisher was originally cast as Miss Scarlet until she ended up in rehab for drug addiction 4 days before filming started. Fisher called Lynn and agreed to a work furlough, which received approval of her clinicians and the producers, but was vetoed from the production's insurance company, forcing Lynn to dismiss her from the project. Leslie Ann Warren was cast as a last-minute replacement. Why is that? Because she was in a relationship with John Peters, who was one of the producers.
But also, did you not say that Eileen Brennan had just gotten over an addiction?
Yes.
So,
but she was out of rehab at that point. So yeah, I know. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like a special. They had to get special permission, and it was literally just the insurance guys who were like, "Come on, we can't do this." Talk about liability.
Yeah.
I think that also would have been a very different movie with Carrie Fisher.
I think she would have been great.
She would have killed it. Yeah.
When I saw that, I was kind of like, "Dang it, that would have been really good." So
because she's also famously like a Hollywood, script doctor. So that if there was something there, she would have punched it up.
How old was she in 84 or 85 when they?
Well, she was 19 in 77. So maybe 25.
She was in her mid-20s. So definitely younger than Leslie Ann Warren.
Yeah, and so I'm just thinking about those scenes at the beginning with Professor Plum.
Yeah.
Wonder if that still would have
little problematic.
Stuck or True. Still though. You glossed over Martin Mull pretty quickly.
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
Well, we talked about him in the previous episode, but go ahead.
I may point myself out as the youngest of this group right here, but I do remember him on Roseanne, but I primarily focus on him from Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Okay, yeah.
So
No, I don't remember that. I remember he had like a super brief cameo in Jingle All the Way. He was like the radio DJ.
He was DJ, radio DJ.
Mm-hmm.
But see, I also know him from he was the lawyer for the Bluth family on Arrested Development.
That's right.
Yeah. He was Gene Parmesan.
This episode is brought to you by Nespresso and Samra Origins by the Weekend Coffee Collection.
Introducing Samra Origins, My collaboration with Nespresso is a connection to my roots, to my mother, Samra. Coffee that hits the right notes. It transports you. Crafted with unique notes and bold, soaring flavors. Experience a taste that moves you. Nespresso and Samra Origins.
Discover more at Nespresso.com.
This episode is brought to you by FXX and Hulu. Futurama returns on September 15th, blending heartfelt moments with razor-sharp humor while accidentally saving the day. The Planet Express crew is back, defying gravity and common sense. From the creator of The Simpsons comes 10 new episodes where the romance is hotter, the threats are bigger, and the action hits harder. Don't miss the all-new season of Futurama returning September 15th at 8 p.m. Watch it on FXX or stream it on Hulu.
Yeah. I mainly know him from Mr. Mom. Like that's the iconic Martin Mull role that I know him from. And then we've got Colleen Camp as Yvette. After appearing in several bit parts, she had a lead role in the comedy The Swinging Cheerleaders in 1974, followed by roles in 2 installments of the Police Academy series. She
That's
also
where I knew
had
her
supporting
from,
roles in Apocalypse Now in 1979, and she was also Julie Richmond's mother, Sarah, in Valley Girl. She continued to have minor and supporting roles in various independent and studio films, including another Bruce Willis Die Hard with a Vengeance in 1995, Election in 1999, Factory Girl in 2006, American Hustle in 2013, and The House with a Clock in Its Walls in 2018. Jennifer Jason Leigh, Demi Moore, and Madonna were, quote-unquote, considered for the role of the French maid Yvette. Eager to learn the part, Colleen Camp went to her audition in a low-cut French maid costume showing a lot of cleavage. In a 2013 BuzzFeed retrospective, writer and director Jonathan Lynn admitted that although he was impressed with Camp's comedic acting skills, it was her well-endowed figure that ultimately convinced him. He said, quote-unquote, there was no avoiding it. And in that costume, I could see that there was no avoiding it. So they played that up just a little too much. I think that's showing as a PG movie in the 80s, how much they got away with back then. But yeah, I remember when I watched this a couple years ago, I saw her and I was like, I know I've seen her in something else, but I guess, she's doing the little fake accent at the beginning. And then when I saw she was in the Police Academy movies, like, that's where I've seen her from.
Yeah.
Tackleberry's wife. And I was like, so then I watched the Police Academy movies like a year or two after that. I was like, it's so funny that's the same person because she's such a different character in those. Then we've got Lee Ving as Mr. Body. He's the front man of the Los Angeles-based hardcore punk band Fear.
Yeah.
As an actor, he had a role in Flashdance in 1983. He was the motorcycle gang leader in Streets of Fire in 1984. He also played the installer in the movie The Wildlife in 1984 with Christopher Penn. And they said that he was basically cast because of his name, Lee Ving, because Mr. Body is leaving. Mr. Body is leaving.
Well, the studio wanted a musician for Mr. Body. And
Okay.
yeah, I don't know why but they insisted on it. And so this was like Jonathan Lynn's kind of F you to Hollywood a little bit, okay, like you want a famous musician? Well, this is your musician.
Yeah. And from a band that nobody's heard of. Good job. Yeah. And is it me? I thought there was, and maybe it was just the version that I was watching. I mean, it's the version that I guess is out there, but in the scene towards the beginning of his introduction scene, when he's like saying he's the one that's blackmailed them, it almost seems like his voice is dubbed, but I'm assuming it was just bad ADR there.
No, his voice is dubbed. It's actually not.
It is dubbed. Okay.
Yeah, that was
see that in
confirmed.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't recall who it was, but for a long time people thought it was Joe Mantegna.
Okay.
It's not. It's someone else, but I just don't remember who it is right now. But it has been fully confirmed that it's dubbed.
Okay. Yeah. It was just a bad match on one like short scene, and I was like, wait a minute, is that really him talking, or is it just a bad overdub? So okay, all right, we'll try to hit these kind of quick. Bill Henderson as the cop in the mid-70s. He appeared on many TV shows. He appeared in films like Inside Moves in 1980, City Slickers in 1991, White Men Can't Jump in 1992, among others. He was actually a jazz musician first before he got into acting. Jane Weedland as the singing Telegram Girl, once again another musician.
Mm-hmm.
She's the lead singer of the Go-Go's. Yep. She also played Joan of Arc in Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, which we talked about before. Jeffrey Kramer was the motorist. He made his first appearance in TV series Barney Miller. He played Deputy Hendricks in Jaws and Jaws 2. And he was also in Beretta and another, like maybe the Deborah Hill connection. He appeared in Halloween 2 playing Graham, the dentist who examines dead Ben Tramer's body, believing him to be Michael Myers. So there's that connection. And then Kelly Nakahara as the cook. She is most known for her role in MASH, and she was also a TV spokesman for IBM in the 80s. And then the uncredited cameo, Howard Hessman as the chief of police, who of course we know as Dr. Johnny Fever from WKRP in Cincinnati, and Charlie Moore in Head of the Class, and of course Captain Pete Lassard.
That's the one,
yeah. Police Academy 2, their first assignment. So him and Colleen Camp were both in Police Academy 2, I think. That's the cast. Anybody? Well, I didn't leave anybody out. I actually covered everybody that was in the cast.
Unless you know just some of those cops that come in. I think you covered everybody.
Yeah,
I don't know who else. Yeah.
And the crazy thing was, like, usually I'll skip over people there's like no kind of history, but like some have like little things I want to mention. But yeah, it's an ensemble. Let's kind of talk about the ensemble. Do you have a favorite character in the ensemble? Not your favorite actor, but like the actual character they played. Do you have a favorite?
Oh, that's hard when you say it that way.
So I think my favorite character in the movie is Wadsworth.
Yeah, I mean, it's easy.
But my favorite character in Clue, not including this version of him, it is Professor Plum.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like that's the character you choose to play as when you're playing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And it's dumb. When I was a kid, I saw Professor and I just thought, oh, he's like a cool, like nuclear physicist or something. A professor could be anything, right? But as a kid, I didn't know it. So I was just like, and he had glasses. He was kind of nerdy. So I was like, hey, he's me. So yeah, so I tend to gravitate towards him. But in the movie, I mean, I think Wadsworth, is probably the standout character in the whole thing.
Wants to go next.
Yeah, I was going to say Miss White until you said, because I don't think, can you separate that character from Madeline Kahn?
I don't know.
So
yeah, it's hard to. Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, yeah, if you just go maybe character alone, I'd probably also say Wadsworth. But yeah, no, my gut, that flames on the side of my face, like that's just
so good.
It's so good. It's so iconic.
Yeah.
I mean, there's even a couple of moments where she just makes like a noise, and it's hilarious.
Yeah, yeah.
So
it's so funny.
Yeah,
the Colonel Mustard character a lot. The the idea that this career military man, is getting jump scared by chandeliers in various scenes is just kind of humorous to me, And I think you're exactly right, Jerry, when you said earlier that this would have been a perfect Leslie Nielsen role. He plays it so straight-laced, and without any kind of scent of humor in it. And it's just a really good role for Martin, I think. It's fun to watch.
Mm-hmm.
That whole interaction of, are you trying to make me look stupid? You don't need any help from me, sir. That's right. And then
that's right, I don't.
Then he just pauses like,
Well, even like Chris is saying when he talks about that he got his money because he lost his mommy and daddy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. I think I read something. I didn't put it in my notes, but Michael McKean said they were having so much fun, like in between takes, like they would be like cracking each other up, that he would say a line from the movie to make them like get like something terrible is about to happen, like something to try to get them back kind of focused on, like, he's like, because he's like, his whole thing was, we have to play it like it's serious life or death or it's not going to work. Like if they hammed it up, it wouldn't work, but because they're all playing it completely straight is why it works so well. So yeah. All right. Iconic scenes. If someone said to you, Clue, what is the scene that pops into your head? Go ahead, Jerry.
Flames. Yeah, it's got to be Flames. Yeah, that's
is crazy because that's in the third ending. So like when it first came out, that may not have been which everybody saw, which I think is crazy. So yeah. What about you, Chris? Same, the flames on the side of your face, or you have a different one?
I like the endings, the variation of them, the creativity obviously is a real Cluey thing, but You know, I really also like the scene where they're making out with all the dead corpses. And
gosh.
Yeah.
Bernie's style stuff going on.
Right,
I'm
right.
a huge Weekend at Bernie's fan, so
Mhm.
I see the references to that, and I thought that part was just hilarious with the policeman and
Yeah.
trying to pull one over on him. You know,
Yeah, because they cover the blood on the motorist,
Yeah.
but
yeah.
Mr. Body just
You
it's
can
just
see
all
the
there.
blood splattered
It's
everywhere.
all there.
Yeah. And then when he's kissing the cook or whatever, and he's trying to hold her, he pulls like her eyelids up,
Pulls
so
her
you see her
eyes open.
eyeballs.
Yeah.
yeah. I was like, okay, come on, man.
hilarious.
What kind of cop are you? Yeah. And then you know, this guy's dead drunk. Oh, he's dead, all right.
Dead
You know,
right.
Yeah.
You're dead right. Yeah.
I can assure
It's like-
you he will not be driving home.
Yeah.
We'll get him a
It's a-
car, a black car.
Yeah.
A black
long
car,
black car.
So good.
All right. Yeah. Yeah. Iconic things like, I mean, yeah, a lot of the sight gags, like them bumping into each other, and you know, some of the jump scares and stuff are kind of the stuff that I remember. But I really remember, like, for me, it's not really an iconic scene, but what I remember from the movie, like, as I said, I remember watching the endings probably more than anything else. So the little place cards between the endings were like, it could have happened this way, but it did have, you know, what if it was this? So I definitely remember that. That's like the thing that I remember of it as a kid.
I
I
always
think
wanted-
also
oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Wadsworth running around right before
Yes.
all the
Right.
endings.
Right.
Especially the one where he has the knife and it's the way Tim Curry runs. There's just,
Yes.
yeah, because he's like slightly back and
Mhm.
yeah.
It's like he's keeping like his butler's posture, right? You know,
Yes.
just
Mhm.
really upright.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always wanted, you know, at the very end during the credits, they have the Clue cards, like the game
Yeah. Oh,
cards
yeah,
with them. I always wanted those as a game.
Yeah, they should have released a movie
Yeah, they should have
version
released-
of the
yeah.
game.
There was a
that would've been
bootleg
cool.
version of it that apparently, if you can find one, is super expensive. But yeah, like that seems like they could have just printed money.
Yep.
Like, especially
agree.
as it started getting a cult film status, they should have just. But
Mhm.
I don't know.
There's your
That's
$1
still,
million
that's still
idea,
crazy
Jerry.
to me. It's crazy to me that this was not a successful movie.
Yeah.
But of course, my favorite movie, Shawshank Redemption, and it wasn't successful either.
Yeah. Doesn't mean that just because it's successful doesn't mean it's a great movie, and just because
And vice
That's true.
versa. Yeah.
yeah, and vice versa. Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Yep.
Any other what are any about favorite scenes? I know we talked about some. I was gonna say I love the
Flames on the side of my face.
I also do like that at the very end, the last scene, right? The last version of the
Mhm.
ending, that they do pay off the line that everybody is familiar with from the game, where he says, "I shot Mr. Body in the hallway with the revolver." I mean, you know,
yeah,
Right,
exactly.
that's
Yeah.
right, yeah.
is what we all are looking
Yeah,
for.
waiting
through the
for.
Oh
whole
yeah,
thing.
yeah, yeah.
They don't use that in the other ones, in the other
Yeah,
endings,
which is
but they
weird, yeah,
Finally
yeah.
pay it off in that last one, and that's
Yeah.
that's a good one.
Yeah.
And then now I'm gonna go home and kiss my wife.
Yeah, yeah. It's like this is like before the term fan service. Like that's become a term more here recently with all the reboots and remakes. But like that's, I mean, you think about this movie. This movie was not 100%, but it was really a lot of fan service. Like if you love the game, there were lots. We'll
Yeah.
talk about when we get in trivia. There were lots of little Easter eggs before we
Yes.
called them Easter eggs in the 80s. But like things that if you knew the game, that you would have picked up on, or that were very intentional. They kept things very similar to the game for you to take notice of. Like I even love like when they open their boxes and like each thing they have looks like the game piece, like the
Right,
the
right.
rope and the old school, the big old heavy wrench, and then the single pipe. It's like wow. I mean that's well, like you said, as a kid and playing the game, that's what you knew. So if they didn't have that in the movie, it just wouldn't have been the same.
Well, and also what I like, and I'm sure this was intentional, the floor of
Yes.
that entrance hallway is
Mhm.
squared off like the board game, like
Like the board
game.
the board from the board game is.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, to this day, I still randomly when my kids are in their room and the door's closed, I'll do the "let us in, let us in, let us out, let us out." You know?
Yeah, yeah.
that's a good
No,
one.
1 + 2 + 2 + 1. That's got to be
Yeah,
a
yeah.
Yeah,
that's got to
good
be a
too.
scene for sure.
That's good.
Even if you were right, that's 1 + 2 + 1 + 1, not 1 + 1 + 2 + 1. Yeah.
There was a line I was thinking about a minute ago, and now I can't remember. That was
Sorry, but
it's one of my favorites. No, it's good. I lost it long before you brought in the numbers.
They also worked in, frankly, Scarlett, I don't give a damn.
Yes, they did. Yeah.
For her ending.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ruby was watching it with me. She had seen it before, and she was telling me her favorite quote was the "Everything all right? Yep. 2 corpses. Everything's
fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nobody. Mr. Body's body. It's gone. Or the I'm not shouting. That's another one. I'm not shouting. All right, I am. I'm shouting. I'm shouting. I'm shout.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the writing in this is really good. Like, even when I was going through looking at the different quotes, like, it was hard to find the one single quote because it's so many good, like, bits that are, they're the lines working off of each other, which I always think are great. So, all right, let's jump into some other scenes of trivia and maybe think of those other scenes. So, as I was mentioning, a lot of detail to keep it consistent with the game. Color of each character's car is the same color as their playing piece in the game, as is introduced as follows. Colonel Mustard drives a yellow Cadillac. Mrs. White drives a black and white convertible. Mrs. Peacock drives a blue Packard Deluxe Club sedan. Mr. Green drives a green Plymouth Cranbrook. Miss Scarlet drives a red Lincoln Continental. And Professor Plum drives a purple Pontiac Streamliner station wagon. Also, attention to detail, the secret passages in the movie lead to the same rooms they do in the board game. The kitchen leads to the study, and the conservatory leads to the lounge. Which I thought
between this and Webster, I really thought I would experience more secret rooms,
passages.
Yeah, secret passages,
secret passageways
in my life.
Yeah.
I'm kind of disappointed I don't have one in my house.
Yeah.
They sell, like, Home Depot sells that bookshelf that you can use as a door.
Yeah.
And I look at it. I mean, it's expensive as crap. Yeah. But I look at it and I just look around my house going, where could I put
this?
Yeah. Yeah. I fell into, like, some sort of algorithm on Facebook where randomly it'll show me those kind of things, the DIY projects. So I'm seeing these people do it. Like, I need to have this, like, in my house. Yeah. Just don't know where.
Yeah. Yeah, very cool. Yeah, I agree. I'm trying to think if there was other movies or TV shows. Like, we'll get to it. So, the decor
By the way,
in the
I will
house.
also point out the 4 of us are representing 4 different colors as well.
That is true.
We sure are.
That is true.
Right.
Unintentional. So who would that? So that would make you Colonel Mustard.
I'd be Colonel Mustard.
I guess Chris is Mrs. Scarlet.
Yeah.
Mr. Scarlet.
You would either be Peacock or Plum because you do have
a purple light but a blue shirt.
I got the purple lights behind me with a blue shirt.
You got the blue shirt, and then Jerry looks like he'd be Mr. Green.
Mr. Green.
Yeah. So
well done, guys.
Well done. Yeah, well done. The decor of the house includes portraits of Presidents Abraham Lincoln, James A. Garfield, and William McKinley, all of whom were murdered, which I thought was a cool little touch there. According to writer and director Jonathan Lynn, they started shooting all scenes in chronological order, but soon got behind on schedule and were then obliged to change tactics and shoot all the scenes set in the same room in a row. By the end of the shoot, they were filming every scene set in the hallway in a row, which could get quite confusing for the actors. Luckily, Lynn himself knew the screenplay by heart because he wrote it, and he also had a very good person in charge of continuity. So every scene that was in the hallway, they filmed at one time, which I could see being very difficult for the actors to keep up with.
For sure.
Especially with multiple endings.
Yeah, the multiple endings. That was the part that I thought, like, how, like, you had to memorize the 3 different endings and, like, not to get that mixed up. So
and that made me remember, I like the like running joke within the endings of a character saying, "There's one thing I don't understand," and then another character going, "One thing?"
Yeah. Yeah. I did like that too. This was one of several movies, mostly comedies, made and released between the mid-'70s and mid-'80s that revived the old Dark House Mansion movie. Others included Haunted Honeymoon in 86, which I've seen way more than this one. Murder by Death in 76.
Yeah.
The Spiral Staircase in 75. The Private Eyes in 1980, which I remember, The Cat and the Canary in 78, House of the Long Shadows in 83, and Bloodbath at the House of Death in 1984.
I don't think I've seen that one.
Yeah.
Haunted Honeymoon, I love also. That's another
Yes,
good
I
one.
love
Haunted
Haunted
Honeymoon's a
Honeymoon.
good one.
I just found that on Blu-ray. I was showing Laramie that last week that I just found it on Blu-ray, so I'm gonna watch it here pretty soon. But that's one that was on HBO like almost every day, and I watched it.
I remember that, watching that one a lot. Can we talk about the score real quick?
Yeah, go for it.
Like,
yes,
it's everything about it is it's like quintessentially like murder mystery. You know, and they keep it creepy, but they also keep it light and up tempo, right? And so it just it really progresses the scenes, you know, and it's so catchy as well. Bum 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 ba-dum, bum 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 bum. You know, it's just it's a really catchy melody that they use here, and it's perfect. It really is just perfect for the film. You know, sometimes and what I love about it, it's memorable. Like not like a lot of, and I love, don't get me wrong, I love the MCU. I love, you know, this new start to the DCU and all this stuff. But like, if I asked you to sing like the theme from Thor, nobody would remember it. But if you asked to see the theme from Clue, like you can do it off the top of your head. Like, so I really appreciate that. And that he kind of stuck with that real, that kind of Victorian era setting.
Yeah. Yeah, I love the music, like the oldies and the music in it. I liked. Go ahead, Chris.
A lot of 80s synthesizer sounds still. They come out
also,
in a lot of these
which
movies.
is.
Yep. All right, so it was John Landis's idea to have 3 different endings playing in different theaters, so we have him to blame for it now. His reasoning that if the audience caught onto the gimmick, they would each go see the film 3 times, but his plan backfired as people decided they didn't want to pay 3 times to see the same movie with, because each ending is probably only like maybe 5 minutes,
right?
I mean, even though it's only an hour and 37-minute movie, I think. So you're still paying, to see 95% of the same things. I think Gerry mentioned at the beginning there was a 4th ending that was written for the film. According to Lynn, it really wasn't very good. I looked at it and I thought, no, we've got to get rid of that. In it, Wadsworth committed all of the murders and reveals he poisoned the champagne, leaving no witnesses when the 6 guests soon die. The officers arrive and capture Wadsworth, but he breaks free and steals a police car, though the escape is ultimately thwarted when 3 police dogs lunge from the back seat, which I guess is how it was going to end. Yeah, I mean, all right, let's talk about it. Which ending, I won't say is the best, but which one is your favorite of the 3 endings? So I'll start with Laramie.
It's C.
Yeah.
I like where they all, pretty much all are, with the exception of Mr. Green, they're all guilty.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I just kind of like that whole concept, that because again, that's the game. Like any one of them could be the killer. And so I like the ending in which all of them are the killers. I mean, Green technically is still a killer because he kills Wadsworth or Mr. Body, whatever you want to say at the end. So
what about you, Chris?
Well, I kind of have to skew the other way because I'm such a fan of the game. I really only want one killer because that's how the game always ends. Right? That's the other side of the coin for me. But I really like the 3rd ending because I told you before, it pays off with the tagline, right? It does that. But I think I have to stick with the Miss Scarlet ending just because that's the one I saw in the theater. And so I really associate that in my mind first with the movie because I saw it originally, right?
Yeah, that totally makes sense. What about you, Gerry?
So I'm kind of like both. I just wanted one killer because that's how it is in the game. But the ending C is the best. So, it really is. I think it makes the most sense, even though it doesn't really make sense if you think about it too hard. How would they know where all the secret passages are and everything? But
like
also,
Wivette told.
Well, that one makes sense. But, like Colonel Mustard killing the motorist in the lounge through a secret passage. I mean, that one, I don't know. But having said all that, I think ending C is the best because we get the classic flames. We get just all of the people just completely bewildered and they're all guilty. I mean, I got to go with C.
Yeah. Yeah. C is my favorite. I think because it has that payoff, the line, that you want to hear. Like it And I think it wraps everything up, I think, a little bit better than the other two, even though they're still fun. But I think if they were for me, if they decided, let's not do the multiple endings, let's just do one, I think C is the one that kind of fits the best of the three. But I think it's still fun to see the different endings. All right. So I'll just briefly mention that there's been plans for a remake that has not come to fruition yet, but for time, I'm not going to go into that. If you want to read about it, you can. And of course, there's a stage adaptation that is out as well. So the screenplay for the adaptation was written by Jonathan Lynn, who wrote the original screenplay. And so
it's awesome,
which I think is pretty cool.
I tell you what
it
I'd
is
really love
essentially
to
just
see.
a staged version of this movie.
Is it really? Have you seen it?
I haven't seen it, but I've read some of the script,
and
it essentially is just a staged version of this
and I
movie.
could see it being that way. I mean, because you have pretty much one setting, the different rooms, so I could see it working on stage
pretty
fairly
well. Yeah. I would like to see, as much as I love this version, I would like to see a serious, like real whodunit, like Agatha Christie style version of Clue as well.
Are y'all aware that there was like a teen drama made in like 2011?
Yeah, I never saw it. I caught like clips of it and I was like, not for me. But
okay.
Yeah.
I haven't watched all of it. It's only 5 episodes. I've watched the first 2. It's horrible. I'm just going to go ahead and say that. But yeah, you've got the 6 kids. They witness what they believe is a murder. But that was the thing when they all witness it. Like, again, I'm watching it with my daughter and I went, well, that's it. It was those guys in the hotel room with the candlestick. Like, we just saw it happen. None of them, they don't have the names of the characters, but they get away. They're connected. Like the kid who is the Professor Plum character. He's just a nerdy kid who goes to a school called like Plum Academy.
Gosh.
And then the kid that is the Colonel Mustard character, they introduce him and I figure out, okay, he's supposed to be Colonel Mustard. And then they show him playing a video game called Mustard Missions. And he achieves Colonel ranking.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's horrible. And then throughout again, I only watched the two episodes, but it takes place over multiple days. But they're like the Power Rangers. They're always wearing the color that is associated with the character from the game.
Gotcha.
But yeah, it's bad. I'm just going to go. I am going to finish it because I'm just curious.
You just have to, though. Yeah, for sure.
I'm just curious. Yeah. But yeah, it has to do with this whole conspiracy with Nikola Tesla. And
okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
There was a VCR version of the game.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I remember that.
And then there was also a Clue 2, which was like a sequel to the VCR version of the game. It's really bad. So I played it. I bought it for my brothers one Christmas because it was like a running gag. I played it at a cousin's house, and then we just never got to play it, my brothers and I. And, we were so into Clue. So I finally one Christmas got it for us. And we played it, and the acting in the whole videos were, yeah. If I never see it again, I'll be okay.
I think I saw the video, like the video version of the first one. Like, I think I remember, like, one of my friends had it. I don't think we played the game. We just watched the video, and I remember being like pretty terrible. Like the acting, and the quality was pretty.
And they used the expanded roster. So like somewhere in the late 80s, they released Clue Master Detective.
Yeah.
Okay.
With like
Madame Rose.
Yeah.
Monsieur Brunette.
Miss Peach. Yeah. Sergeant Gray. So they use those in the cast. And I think Professor Plum is like an archaeology professor. Mr. Green has like connections to the mob. Sergeant Gray is not actually a sergeant. He's like an escaped mental patient that thinks he's like a cop. I mean, it was weird, man. It was weird. Yeah.
Some things just be left alone.
It made me want to go back and watch this movie. I'll say that.
All right. Well, let's talk about box office and start to wrap this one up. Clue was released in the United States on December 13th, 1985, but struggled at the box office, opening at number 6. The other new release, Jewel of the Nile, took the number 2 spot behind Rocky IV, which dominated the number 1 spot for the 3rd week. Clue grossed just $14.6 million in North America, just short of its $15 million budget. So yes, it was not a box office success, but once it was released on VHS and of course on cable, where you could watch all three endings together, is when it kind of hit its cult status, where it became a fan favorite of our generation. All right, it's time to take a look at how well this 80s flick holds up today. It's the Rewatchability Nostalgia Meter, our way of measuring how enjoyable a movie is for repeat viewings, along with the waves of nostalgia it brings. Here's how it works. It's a 1 to 10 scale. Any number between 1 and 10 will do. Here are a few parameters to help you decide. At the bottom of the meter, a number 1 is I saw it once and that was enough. Right in the middle is a 5, which means it's a good rewatch every couple of years. And the highly coveted top of the meter, 10, is highly rewatched and full of nostalgia. So I'm going to go out of order this time and start with Chris. Chris, where does Clue rank for you on the rewatchability nostalgia meter?
Well, those are two different things for me. It's hard because,
it's true.
you know, for me, the nostalgia is very high because, like I said, I came through it the way I think it got intended, with the game first and then the movie later, right? The movie second, right? It's like reading a book first and then seeing the movie version is really how I would like it always to play out, right? And that's kind of what happens here. It's like the game in this case is my novel version in my head, and then I saw it for real. So I think on the nostalgia meter, if I could indulge and give two numbers, I'd probably give it an 8 in nostalgia, but rewatchability may be a 5 for me. It's obviously been a while since I've seen it. I did enjoy seeing it this time. Obviously, when I watched it back this week, certainly enjoyed it. A lot of laughs, a lot of good, funny moments that brought the movie back full circle for me. But I think maybe every year or two would be plenty enough for me.
Gotcha. What about you, Laramy?
Yeah, this is a tough one because I think nostalgia wise, I agree, it's up there probably at an 8. But in rewatchability, you know, the way Chris is talking about it, I'm going, yeah, but I just said I haven't watched it in a decade. But I also look at it as it's one of those movies that, you know, and we've kind of shown that in this show, you almost don't need to watch it because it sticks with you. You know, so many of the scenes, so many of the lines sticks with you. So you don't really need to rewatch it, but it does have that rewatchability because you can just quote it and have fun with it and all that. So I'll probably just knock that down just to give one number, and I'll say a 7.
Okay. All right, Gerry, you're up. What you got?
So this is probably a 9 for me.
I knew it was going to be
because I do watch it. I do watch it
a couple of times.
I do watch it a few times a year. So it's not quite a 10, only because there are a few slower spots. So, you know, when the cop gets killed, like that whole interaction of just kind of him on the phone, it's like, well, all right. And then they split up to like search. It's a little bit slower.
Yeah.
But I still love the movie.
Do we really need to watch Tim Curry cut the matches?
Right. Yeah. You know, there's a couple of pacing issues. So, but because I watch it a lot, I have to give it a 9. Yeah.
Yeah. Gerry, you're going to be you're the highest of all of us, I'm sure.
That's fine. I don't mind.
But yeah, like I said, this isn't one that I mean, it has nostalgia, but it's not very high for me because it wasn't one, like I said, that I watched a lot as a kid. I do like the game. I probably have more nostalgia for than the movie, even though I think the movie is great. And rewatchability, I haven't watched it a lot, but now, you know, watching it twice in the last year, I could see myself watching it, you know, every couple of years. So I'm kind of right there with Laramy. I think around a 7, maybe like a 6.5 is probably where it is for me. Not that it's bad. It's, you know, it's a good watch every couple of years. I think it definitely falls in that category for me. I think just because the nostalgia is not there for me as it is for other people, because I just didn't. It's not one that I watched over and over again as a kid that has that nostalginess. That's a word now.
It is now.
Nostalgia for me. It is now. I said it. When you say it, it's
That's
a word now. So
it's a perfectly cromulent word.
TM. Yeah.
There you go. I'll put it on a t-shirt. So let us know where you think Clue.
Welcome to Only Murders in the Building,
the official podcast.
Join me, Michael Cyril Creighton, as we go behind the scenes with some of the amazing actors, writers, and crew from season 5.
The audience should never stop suspecting anything.
How can you not be funny crawling around on a coffin? No, that's true.
Catch Only Murders in the Building official podcast, now streaming wherever you get your podcasts. And watch Only Murders in the Building, streaming on Hulu and Hulu on Disney Plus for bundle subscribers. Terms apply.
This episode is sponsored by Friskies, who would like to tell your cats hi. Now, if that didn't get your cat's attention, there is one thing that always does the trick. Just pour some Friskies crunchy food in the bowl and you'll hear those paws come running. Works every time. With so many Friskies choices, you can always bring your cats running from their secret napping spots. There's always more to explore. See for yourself at friskies.com or visit your local store.
It's still, look, this movie is still the best movie based on a board game.
Agreed.
Right. Yes. Yeah, agreed. That's a very short list for a good reason, for many reasons.
Looking at you, Battleship.
Yeah, Battleship would be in the top of the list of movies not to be. Anyway. Oh, gosh. I still, I don't have PTSD from that movie, but, I knew it was bad and still wanted to watch it. And then once I finished watching it, I was like, you did this to yourself. You knew it was going to be bad, but you made yourself
knew what you were
watch
getting
it.
into.
Yeah, it's like,
look, because we'll never talk about this movie, I just had to throw in the way they finally made it connected to the game, where they were like, we can't see them. We'll just lay out a grid. And they lay out a grid. All right, A2, hit.
All right, let us know. Yeah. Wasn't Liam Neeson in that movie too? I think so.
Yes, he was.
That's
right. And it was another one of those where they tried to throw that Taylor Kitsch guy down our throat.
Yeah,
That was another one of those too.
It's stop trying to make him happen. He's not going to happen.
Yeah. He's such a good actor. He just could not get the part right for him.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. He was fine on Friday Night Lights. Do not try to make him an action star.
He was great on Friday Night Lights.
You didn't like him as Gambit?
John Carter. I mean, I know we're getting off track here. I was so excited to see John Carter. I fell asleep 15 minutes into that movie.
I didn't fall asleep, but I definitely picked up my phone.
Picked it up in the theater.
No,
busy?
I didn't see it in the
I'm
theater,
good.
right? Yeah, but I was like, all right, what else?
Yeah, I think, I don't even think I read it. I think I saw when they came on whatever cable channel, pay cable channel was on, and I don't think I ever finished it. Of course you did.
I mean,
in 3D, because I had the 3D television with the 3D Blu-ray player. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Glutton for punishment.
Yeah. Well, I also own Battleship, so Origins. I think I own every Taylor Kitsch movie. So
every time you believe the hype, you're like, all right, this is going to be his hit.
Yeah. Look, Laramie, this could get you back on TikTok. Laramie's Bad Movie Confessions.
There you go.
These are the movies that I own. Let's go. Come in with me to the basement and let me show you the bad movies that I paid money for to have in my collection.
Look, when you worked at Blockbuster, those previously viewed movies were so tempting.
Oh yeah.
So yeah.
I know it's bad, but it's only $2.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. I can go off on a whole list of movies like that I own.
Oh yeah. All right. Well, let us know where you think Clue should rank on the rewatchability nostalgia meter for you. You can send us an email, let us know on social media, or you can leave us a comment right here if you're watching us on YouTube. So I want to thank Gerry D, Chris, and Laramie for joining the show. Thank you guys so much. Always a pleasure to have you. Very quickly, Gerry, tell me what's going on at Totally Rad Christmas. What you got coming up here in the month of September?
Ooh, okay. So in September, Small Wonder, if you remember that show.
Oh, yeah.
The robot Small Wonder. A Rock and Roll Christmas starring Dennis Miller, which is one of the most interesting things I've ever watched. I think Remote Control is coming up this month. It might be early next month, but
okay.
Yeah, and the Facts of Life. We got a Facts of Life episode as well.
Oh yeah. So take the good, you take the bad, you take them both, and there you have
exactly
Facts of Life.
Yep. So that's what's coming up. And then October, I usually do a Halloween movie or a Halloween episode and a Christmas episode.
Awesome. And I kind of know what that Halloween episode is going to be, and I'm excited about it. So
Yeah. Yeah. That one was good. It was fun.
Yeah. All right, so definitely check out Totally Rad Christmas. If it's 80s in the Christmas, if it's rad in the 80s, he's got it covered. I always mess that up for some reason.
No worries.
And Laramie, what's going on over at Moving Panels for September?
Well, of course, September is when we kick off our new year. So we're starting things off. I wanted to do two things that I was not familiar with. So we kicked off the month with Blue Beetle because I had never seen Blue Beetle until I did that episode. And then later in the month, we're going to do Paper Girls, the series that I'm sure a lot of people don't even know existed on Amazon Prime that was released a few years ago. But going to do that. And then over on our side podcast, King Sized, Stephen King's birthday is in the month of September. And we are releasing an episode on my favorite movie, The Shawshank Redemption.
Nice.
Very cool. Very cool. Chris does not have a podcast, but it's still good to have you on the show. Always glad to have you. Anything you want to talk about? You do anything exciting that you want to let us know about, even though nobody can hear or see it?
Sure. Yeah. I'm.
What football games you watching?
We're headed to Gulf Shores in a week when the school's going break.
Yeah.
That's good for me.
That's right. I do have two teachers on the show, Laramie and Chris. Well, yeah, Chris is still a teacher. He's retired, but he's still teaching. So have support your educators.
And a former. I was a band director
and a former
for a while.
teacher. There you go. There's a theme here. All right. Well, thanks everybody for listening. Thank you so much, guys, for joining. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. Be sure to follow or subscribe so you never miss an episode. Jump online and visit the website 80sflickflashback.com and our TeePublic store for some awesome 80s Flick Flashback merch and original designs. I just launched new collection of designs inspired by previous episodes because we're in football season. I got some shirts inspired by Wildcats and the Best of Time, and also did some shirts on Halloween 3. Thanks again for tuning in. I'm Tim Williams for the 80s Flick Flashback podcast. They all did it. But if you want to know who killed Mr. Body, I did it in the hall with the revolver. Okay, Chief, take him away. I'm going to go home and sleep with my wife.